What's up guys, I'm Dan Jeong. Welcome back to my channel. So about a couple weeks ago, I asked on my Instagram stories to ask me any questions, so I will answer it on my YouTube channel. And you guys asked me a whopping 70 questions within 24 hours, which was way more than I expected, so thanks so much for all the interest guys. So today's episode is the first episode of my Q&A series. So let's begin the questions. Okay, so first question. Minami955 asks, 미국 자전거 횡단하실 때 어떤 느낌이었습니까? So I did a bike across America trip back in 2014, and that has been one of my dreams since I was a kid, to bike across America or doing something crazy. And I figured right after my college is probably one of my best years to do it. So I decided to ride a bicycle from Long Beach, California, all the way to Washington, D.C., which took me about 2 months, and then we average about like 130 kilometers per day, I think. To explain my experience, I'm gonna be honest here. It wasn't the most pleasant experience ever. If someone asked me to do it again, I probably will never do it again. And honestly, I've never even touched a bike since my trip, since 2014, because we rarely got any rest days. I think we rested around every 10 days or so, and then that was after riding like 130 kilometers every day. And it's just so much tiring, especially mentally and physically. You're always just sore, and even more, your just butt start hurting so much. So every time I had to sit in a chair, I had to sit like very gently, so because like it was just not for me, but for all my teammates as well. So this was definitely one of the most memorable experience I've ever did, but something that I'll probably never do it again. Oh, by the way, since I was riding so much, my legs grew so much within those 2 months, and then I lost most of my muscle mass like on my top, and then it went all the way to my bottom. So I lost a lot of my skills like planche or handstand push-ups. So it took me a couple of years to get that back. Okay, next question. Gal Nissan 1 asked, how much volume for stretching and mobility per week? So this really depends on a person, but for me, I try to do maybe like once or twice of like stretching or mobility work for a group. So for each muscle group. So since there's a lot of muscle groups in your body, that actually makes you do something every single day. And when I say stretching, I don't mean just like trying to touch your toes for like 10 seconds and that's it. But stretching means you're actually like trying to lengthen your muscles really hard. So it has to be very intense. It shouldn't be something that's relaxing. So I think intense stretching once or twice a week is plenty. Okay, next question. Non-subdao asks, 혹시 혼혈이신가요? 너무 궁금해요. Yeah, I've actually gotten this question a few times before, and the answer is no, I'm a straight up Korean. My father is Korean, my mom's Korean, my grandmother's Korean, my grandpa's Korean. But since I lived in the US for a number of years, I think that might have affected how I look, maybe just a little bit. So I think that's why people think I'm mixed blood, or I'm not just purely Korean, but yeah, as far as I know, I'm Korean. 세영쿠 asks, 운동 질문은 아니지만 영어는 어떻게 그렇게 잘 하시게 된 건지 궁금해요. So many people ask me about English questions, and then especially Koreans, like they ask me, oh, how'd you learn English? And then like I'm gonna be really honest here, like it's not like I try really hard to learn English. I mean, I tried a little bit, but most of them came from just me living abroad. So when I was in middle school, I got an opportunity to study in the US. So I was there and then graduated from middle school, high school, and college, and came back to Korea for military service. So I was there for a good amount of years. And I also lived in New Zealand for 1 year when I was really young, in 5th grade. So that's just basically how I picked up my English. Next question, JaiDev15 asks, all the recovery methods that we can do after training to recover the body. So, I mean, eating is probably one of the most important things. So I think you're aware, and sleeping too, those two. But those two are really obvious ones, I'm sure you know. But one of my favorite ways to recover better is to actually take a nap. So 20-30 minute like quick nap is not really gonna make you recover your muscles, but like around an hour or so. Like if you go more than an hour, I think it's gonna affect your night sleeping. But if you take a nap for an hour, I think that's a good amount of time to make you not too groggy, but you'll feel fresh, but it's also enough time to get some recovery. And I know a lot of professional athletes take naps to recover their body as well. So if you haven't been napping, definitely go for it if you can, especially if you can afford it. Next question. Jeff Fizzle246 asked, how do you stay motivated to train while you're injured? Oh, that's a tough one. So it's really hard to be motivated when you're injured. When you're injured, you just don't want to do anything and then you just want to give up on all the workout. I feel the same as well. But I don't know, you just have to stay strong and just think about your goals. Maybe you have a goal just to do a planche for 10 seconds or something. And if you give up, you will never get that goal. So yeah, just think about your goals and then I think that's one of the best ways to get you motivated. And getting injured is also not end of the world, so don't treat it like that. So let's say you injured your wrist, so you can't do any like pushing or anything, but maybe you can still use your ankle or maybe still you can use your abdominals. So work on your other weaker areas, and when your injury is healed, at least you improve on other areas. Next question. Brad Gunn asks, 평균 운동시간은 어느 정도인가요? So in average, I think I work out about 3 hours or maybe 3.5 hours in the longer days. So that consists of about 30 minutes of warm up, and then maybe hour to up to 1 hour and 30 minutes of some like a main workout, and then the remaining time goes towards like mobility work, stretching, cooling down, or some like SMR. Yeah, so 3 to 3.5 hours. Next question, Kelvin NGS. Strength or physique? Can I pick both? I can't really pick just one. I gotta pick both, sorry. If there was an endurance, I can definitely ditch endurance because I don't really care about that. Yeah, but strength and physique, I have to pick both, sorry. Next question, Yoga Byakash asks, do you follow any particular diet? No, I don't follow a particular diet, but I just try to avoid carbs. It's not like I'm just cutting carbs too much. I try to avoid eating bread or some like white rice. So anything like too carby, I try to not eat it. And I usually don't really care about like a lot of fats or a lot of protein in it. Yeah, so make your diet simple and don't get into any like extreme diets because you probably can sustain it. Next question. Samuel Kamensky asks, how do I train for explosive high pull-ups except weighted pull-ups? So to get explosive pull-ups, don't do the weighted pull-ups. They're not the same thing. You might get strong in this just position, but to get high pull-ups, your hands needs to go all the way towards your navel, which is a new range of motion. And also, how you pull up is going to be different. So if you want to get good at high pull-ups, just practice high pull-ups and just practice pulling towards your navel rather than towards your chest. So Matara Hari asks, how do you get those guns? Genetics? Just kidding. Maybe it has to do a little bit of genetics, but to be frank, I think a lot of them came from like a lot of ring work. So in the rings, we have to do a lot of rings turnout to keep the biceps more engaged and then forearms more engaged. And then I used to practice a lot of like ring handstand with rings turned out and like rings planche. Or just, anything rings puts a lot of pressure on your biceps. And that's a particular reason why a lot of gymnasts have big biceps as well. Get yourself some pair of rings and then start working. You chill as best exercises to stay upright in the middle split. So one of my favorite ways to get into middle splits is just to stand up and then just get your legs wide little by little. So let's say you start from here, just get the legs a little bit wider and wider and wider until you can go as much as you can, and then just trying to hold there. And it may sound really simple, but I think it works and it's effective. Adam Staradam asks, 안녕하세요. 부상 당했을 때 가만히 쉬는 거 말고 회복에 도움이 되는 게 뭐가 있을까요? 감사합니다. So if you're injured, the worst thing you'll do is just rest. So actually, like you have to rest until pain goes away. So I'm just gonna talk in general. So everybody's gonna be different. But first, rest until your pain subsides, and then when you don't really feel pain anymore, that's when you start introducing some rehab exercises. So don't just sit there do nothing. You gotta do some rehab. So if you're injured with your front delts, just search on YouTube like how to rehab your shoulders and do some shoulder rehab exercises. And also, maybe you can't work on your shoulders, but you can always work on other areas like your lower back or your glutes or anywhere that is weak. So yeah, go out there and do something. KMS 223S 정적 운동의 이상적인 운동 주기와 고강도의 정적 운동을 자주 하면 안 되는 이유가 궁금합니다. So this is not a simple question to ask, honestly, within this like I'm in a YouTube video, but to make it very simple, it just depends on the person. Like for me, I try not to do more than like 2 hard sessions for each body part. So at max, I'll do like 2 hard front lever sessions, 2 planche sessions, and even then, sometimes that's too much for me. You want to be doing as often as possible that your body can handle, but you don't want the intensity to be so low that you can do it every day. So there's a fine line between like intensity and then frequency. So you want to be as intense as possible, but you also want to up the frequency. And then you also have to consider recovery. So that's why programming is so hard. And then it just comes with a lot of experience. So in general, maybe like 1 to 2 hard sessions a week, but even that very depends on person. June XCIS, 댄정에게 운동이란? So workout used to be just my hobby, and then my hobby became a passion, and my passion became my job, because right now I'm coaching full time to make most of my income, and also I'm making a lot of YouTube videos, fitness related. So it's more than a passion for me. Since it's my job, I'm more obligated to do it, but it's something that I'm obligated, but I enjoy at the same time. So I get both of the best worlds. So Jimmy Francine asks best exercises for higher hips during planche. My hips drop when doing advanced tuck. So generally, dropping hips means you have weakened your shoulder girdle, especially on your scaps. So practice a lot of protraction, and then I think like if you're on an advanced tuck, probably the best exercise for you is to get in from tuck handstand, lowering down to tuck planche, maintaining that as much protraction as possible. So give it a try. 펠레놀 asks 보충제 이외에도 영양제로 따로 드시나요? 드시면 어떤 것을 드시는지요? So currently I take vitamins, multivitamins, omega, milk thistle, ZMA, and yeah, I think that's it. Alexa friend 28S, apart from mobility, how do you train your lower body? And the answer is apart from mobility, I don't train lower body. And mobility includes flexibility and strength at the same time. And I have no desire to get any bigger on my legs, so I don't do any hypertrophy work. So mobility is all I need for now. That's suitable for my goals. So yeah, no squats or deadlift or anything like that. J Instagram asks 댄정님의 향후 계획 느낌표. So I'm currently in Bali teaching calisthenics in a gym right now, but I plan to go back to Korea in September permanently. So after I go there, I'll probably work as a freelancer. Nothing set in stone yet. I'm just throwing out there, and then I'll continue hosting some workshops, seminars, and some like classes here and there. Maybe some PTs too. And then mostly I just want to focus on the YouTube channel. So if I can get YouTube as my full-time job, that'd be awesome. That'd be really, really amazing. So that will be one of my goals. And if I also get an opportunity, I would like to release some online programming as well. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so it's gonna be the last questions. I've been standing here for so long, my calves hurt. So, and I also taught like 4 hours today, so my legs are shaking. So sorry guys. So Michael sees SWS, why calisthenics and not other discipline or sport? So I like calisthenics because of the variety it has. So let's compare it to the traditional weightlifting. So weightlifting, there's bench press. Maybe if you're a beginner, you start from the empty bar, you get to 30 kilos, 40 kilos, and then maybe eventually get to like 200 kilos, whatever. So same movement, just getting your bars lowering down and then getting it up, but just more weights. It's exactly same every single day. But with the bodyweight training, what's so much fun is that you start with like tuck planche, and then you get into frog planche, you get into straddle planche, full planche. The shape changes, so it actually feels like you're achieving something. And then maybe when you started, maybe you could barely stand on your hands for 2 seconds, and then you can get into handstand for up to 60 seconds, and then you work on your one arm handstand. And I think just a variety of the movements you can achieve with your own body, I think it's just fascinating. So that's why that's the sports I'm really passionate about, and then hopefully I can continue to do so for the next years and years to come. Okay guys, so I try to answer as many questions as possible, but due to time restraint, I'm gonna end it here. So sorry guys if I didn't answer your questions. Maybe I'll answer in my next video if I ever get to produce another video. So if you want to see more of these Q&A videos, just let me know your support by just hitting a like button below. And yeah, I had a lot of fun making this video, so hopefully I can get more videos, second, third, or fourth, or just continue my Q&A sessions in the future. And thanks so much for watching guys, like always, and let me know what you want to see next in my next video and comment section below. And see you guys in my next video. Peace. Bye.